What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having an unbelievable week. It's Justin Jackson here once again. Uh, our North Carolina Tar Heels go into the Jumpman Invitational to play the University of Florida, and unfortunately walk out with a 90-84 loss. Um, and when you look at the game, I think for me it's a tale of two halves, right? I think the first half you saw there was kind of some lackadaisical, at times lazy defense, whether it was execution of defense or just pressuring, being more physical. And then you saw in the second half a team, in my opinion, that not many teams want to see if they play the way that they did. They start off, they're down 12 at the end of the first half, come out first possession that Florida has the ball. Seth Trimble gets into the passing lane, denies, gets a hand on it, gets out in transition, and the rest of the half kind of looks the same exact way until really the last 4 minutes of the game. So you kind of look at, overall, North Carolina didn't shoot the ball well, 5 for 28 from three, which is 18%. They gave up 16 offensive rebounds for 23 second chance points. But for me, I think it's just it's deeper than just the stats. Even with those numbers, even with being smaller on the inside, or being smaller overall as a team, I think one half to the next just didn't add up. In my opinion, if North Carolina plays even close to how they played in the second half as they in the first half, I think they win this game, and I don't think it's necessarily as close as it was down the stretch. Um, I think for this team to be able to make a push and be able to make a run, whether that's through the ACC, through the ACC tournament, hopefully into the NCAA tournament, I think this team has to be the scrappiest, hardest playing team, a team that pressures at all times, is physical, that uses their strength, which is the guard play, the couple of wings that they have, use those strengths of their athleticism, their speed, their physicality, and just be the harder playing team. I think, you watch that second half, and it was unbelievable to watch. It had me sitting up on my couch, cheering on and screaming for the guys as they continue to push and build all that momentum and continue to, take over the game and end up going up by four. I think in the last 4 minutes of the game is kind of where you see, unfortunately, it's just the weaknesses that this team has that, um, you know, are things that they're going to have to scheme and figure out how to go about it. But the offensive rebounds and the fouling and things like that towards the end of the game, I think that's where you saw the size of the team kind of come into play. But I don't think it's really anything about that at this point. I think it's a matter of, hey, if we play 40 minutes and we are the hardest playing team for 40 minutes, and it comes down to the last 4 minutes, and unfortunately, a team is bigger than us and they're able to get offensive rebounds, or a team is able to, go at the weaknesses that we have that we can't necessarily change within that game, then you walk away saying we did everything that we could. But when you walk away from a game where you basically only played 20 minutes of, all out pressure and physicality and getting out in passing lanes and getting in transition and things like that, I think that's whenever it's a lot tougher to take a loss like that. So for me, I'm looking for this team going into this next game against UCLA, which is another top 25 game that would be absolutely massive for their resume. I'm looking for them to play a full 40 minutes, for them to be the most uh, pesty, uh, the most just hardest working team on the floor at all times. There should never be a time that UCLA is um, beating them to loose balls, or there should never be a time whenever guys aren't feeling the pressure that this North Carolina team is bringing on defense, and the offense will follow. I firmly believe that if they are able to do that, I think that they're a team that not many teams want to see. But until they do that, I think it's going to be a difficult time for them.